That's a 47-yarder for Wershing to balance it up. 3:53 to go in the half. And Wershing will tee it up at the 35, and Atlanta will try to make a move. Watch Wershing's reaction as he's rooting that ball to hit the bar and get over. Ho-hum, just another field goal.
You know, Vin, number 50 on the 49ers, Tatalo, they picked him up as a free agent. He was with the Eagles. He is a great special team player.
Well, Ray Wershing kicking to little Reggie Smith. And Wershing gets his leg into this one, and Reggie Smith will take it at the 2. To the 10, 20, and down he goes. Kuykendall, 1 of 2. Kenny Times also hit him. I'm for some reason mixing that up, sure. So Reggie Smith brings it back, and Atlanta will put it in play and try and get something going at their own 25-yard line.
You know, Vin, Reggie Smith shows good hands. He's very sure in handling the ball, and he shows good quickness. He doesn't have the great speed, it doesn't look like, but he has good quickness.
Oh, let's see what Bartkowski does now from his own 25. Steve looking to the left side, and he has Wallace Francis, but he is pushed out by Johnson. Hard on that completion to Francis. So it is second down, almost 11. The ball is now just shy of the 25. We have 3 minutes and 6 seconds to the half and a 3-3 tie. Jenkins and Francis come left. Junior Miller on the right side. Bartkowski over the middle, no good, and a flag on the play. Bobby Leopold making contact. Wallace Francis moving across to make the reception, and Leopold, the rookie from Notre Dame, apparently guilty of the infraction.
Defensive pass interference, number 52, first down.
Well, Leopold 52 has such good position on him that he's playing the ball like he's the receiver. The 49ers were in a 4-man line, went back to their standard defense. Now watch him right here. He's right there. Although he didn't play the ball, he tackled the receiver. Here it is again. Good call by the officials.
So first and 10 for Atlanta on its 32-yard line. Francis in a slot left. And Bartkowski going down the right side. No good, and are the Falcons angry. Alfred Jackson made the catch. Well, the official saying that he was not in possession going out of bounds. And Ricky Churchman defending.
Right, he juggled the ball. He didn't have possession of it. And that time they went back to the 3-man line. Good protection. Time to throw the ball. Here it is. Split the defense. He didn't have possession of the ball.
And look at the Falcons. They came flying out of the nest on that call. It is second and 10 on the 32. Francis going right. Jenkins goes left. Andrews and Kane behind Bartkowski. Timeout. And San Francisco calling time. They have used all 3 of their timeouts.
To use your 3rd timeout on defense, that's unusual. That catches up with you. You have to save those timeouts for when you need them.
Well, San Francisco, on the contrary, burning up their 3. One of them, you remember, DeBerg could not be heard with the crowd cheering, and he called time. Now a defensive timeout for San Francisco. They're on their own. Meanwhile, Atlanta has not used a timeout. The officials today, Bob Frederick is the referee. The umpire is Lou Palazzi. Head linesman Sid Seaman, and the line judge Bob Beeks. Back judge Bill Swanson. The side judge Ron Murphy, and the field judge is Bob Wortman.
San Francisco have used all 3 of their timeouts for the second quarter of first half.
There's the catch by Jackson, and then the hit by Churchman. And you can see it's on the ground. Now he's going to pick it up and hold it, and his teammates were furious.
The contact knocked the ball loose, knocked him out of bounds. The official made the correct call. Well, the 49ers are allowed 3 timeouts. They've used all 3. They used 2 on offense, they used 1 on defense. So that puts the pressure on DeBerg the rest of the game. He has to play the clock, throw the ball out of bounds to stop it.
2nd and 10 on the Atlanta 32. Francis comes left, and Jenkins goes right. Deflected into the hands of Ricky Churchman. There's a flag on the play. Churchman takes a lick and gets outside to the 30-yard line, but let's wait. The flag on the play, we'll see the call. They'll call it back, and we'll see in a moment the interpretation of the flag.
It's against the 49ers.
It'll be pass interference against San Francisco, and the interference evidently against Charles Cornelius.
Defensive pass interference. First down, Atlanta.
So Atlanta, instead of an interception, see if you can see number 28, Charles Cornelius. Right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
He hit him. He didn't have a fair shot to catch the ball. No question about that. It wasn't even close.
So Cornelius hits Jenkins. Atlanta 1st and 10 in San Francisco territory at the 48. 2:30 left in the half. And Bartkowski deep down the left side. No good. Just off the hands of Wallace Francis with Charlie Johnson defending.
Francis ran a perfect pattern. He had a 30-yard gain there if he throws the ball. He had no arch on the ball. He threw the ball nose down. Francis didn't have a chance to catch it. Here it is. Francis is covered short and long. He's splitting the defense. Now watch this. No chance. Made a good effort. You can't miss those plays. When you got a guy open, you got to hit him.
Well, it's 2nd and 10 on the San Francisco 48. Bartkowski is 5 for 10 for 23 yards. In contrast, DeBerg is 15 for 19 and 109 yards, but the score's even 3-3. Bartkowski on a draw. Andrews bumped into Van Note, now trying to make a play out of it on his own. And there's a flag on the play.
Well, the reason Andrews was hit and jammed back is the 49ers dog closed up the hole.
He'll bump into his center, Van Note, number 57, and then he turned what appeared to be a busted play into a big gainer, but the preliminary signal is holding against Atlanta.
Offensive holding, number 68. 2nd down.
So R.C. Thielman is guilty of holding. So after getting a big break on the pass interference call, Atlanta now is turned back by the offensive holding. We have 2 minutes and 14 seconds to the half. The ball is at the Atlanta 42-yard line. Bartkowski to Andrews at the 40, 45, midfield, hurdles over down to about the 46-yard line where Charles Johnson and Ricky Churchman brought him down.
Good offensive football. The 49ers came in with Perry and Rhodes for Bunce and Harper. Bartkowski wants to go downfield. He dumps it off to Andrews, picks up good yardage.
If you had driven along this street just a few years ago, the cars would have been very different. But now, more and more people are driving cars like the Honda Accord 4-door sedan, with room inside for 4 adults and their possessions. It's a true sedan in every sense. In fact, the Accord 4-door is one of the most successful front-wheel drive sedans in America. Simple proof that society has outgrown the big sedan.
Honda, we make it simple.
John Burns joined the Army in March and kept us waiting until October. Kathy Wolf joined the Army in May and kept us waiting all summer. If you're a high school graduate or about to be, you can join the Army now and take up to 12 months to report for duty. That way, if you qualify, we can guarantee you the skill training that makes you happiest. And we think a happy soldier is worth waiting for. This is the Army, a chance to serve your country as you serve yourself. Call this number toll-free.
With Medicare costs out of sight, 60 Minutes looks at a hospital bill. Length of stay, 23 days. Size of bill, $77,000. Sunday on CBS.
Portable television, bright sunshine, and a boy and a girl. Can't ask for more here at Candlestick right now. A good ball game, a 3-3 tie. Atlanta moving the ball to the San Francisco 47, and there's a shocker. St. Louis upsets Philadelphia 24-14. 3rd and 8. And a dog, and he got away from one man but not another. It was Hicks who first put the initial pressure. Dwight Hicks, the rookie, and Jim Stuckey finally brought him down. Stuckey, number 79, a rookie from Clemson.
First-round pick. Good call.
You'll see 22 barreling in a moment.
Here it is.
There he is. That's Dwight Hicks.
You gamble on that, but it's a good gamble. By the way, O.J. Anderson had 151 yards in that upset, Ben. 27 carries.
He's a marvelous performer, isn't he, George?
He sure is.
So it'll be a 4th down for Atlanta. John James standing on his own 30. With Solomon and Hicks, twin safeties, at the San Francisco 15.
Uh,
1 minute and 24 seconds, and let's see if it's a long count.
Yeah, good football. Keep the clock running. Put a little more pressure on DeBerg. He has no timeouts remaining. We got 1:23.
Delay, offense, 4th down.
So from the 46, they're penalized to the Atlanta 41. And all that really means a little more time has been consumed. And the twin safeties move up 5 yards, Hicks and Solomon. An important factor, the 49ers have used their timeouts. 3-3 in the half. James with plenty of time and gets a good one away, and it'll be Hicks at the 15 to the 20, and maybe got about 3. Dakin drilled him coming in one side, and that was an out. So Tony Dakin, a good special teams man, along with Ray Strong, with the 2 men to hit him, and John James does his job. San Francisco will put it in play on their own 23 with 1 minute and 13 left, but even just as important or more so, no timeouts.
He had a 4.5 hang time. That's one of the reasons they couldn't return it.
1st and 10 on the 23 for San Francisco. Now, big Earl Cooper not going anywhere on that play. A rookie out of Rice. He was such a powerful looking senior that he was invited to play in the blue-gray, the East-West, and the Senior Bowl. There's a timeout to stop the clock with 1 minute and 3 seconds to the half. And DeBerg over to talk to Bill Walsh. I guess under the circumstances, you'd go for the bomb.
You should throw one bomb in here. You might get a big play out of it. You might get a penalty. The worst you should get is an incomplete pass. I would think they'd throw over there on 37, Johnson again. See how he's playing. If they're not giving him any help, if he's playing deep, throw in front of him, get out of bounds, and stop the clock.
Steve DeBerg has played 4 games against Atlanta in his young career. He is 1-3. And he has just been a 50% passer. Lehman Bennett shoring up his defense. DeBerg has had a very showy first half. He's completed 15 out of 19 for 109 yards, but he hasn't really been able to put anything on the board.
Short
and
stuff.
Most of his passes have really been, as you called him, George, really a running game, dumping them off to the backs.
Lehman Bennett was probably telling his defense now, loosen up. Don't give them anything cheap. We don't want to go in behind.
A 3-3 tie, 1 minute and 3 seconds to the half. Those are DeBerg's numbers. 2nd and 9. DeBerg over the middle to Cooper, and he is dragged down as he crossed the 25-yard line. Richardson and Curry got him. And the clock continues to tick to 54 seconds. And now Atlanta calling a timeout.
Well, now that's good football, Ben, for Atlanta, because if they can force the 49ers to punt, you can put the punt block on, or you can put your return on, and you might have position to kick a field goal. You've got your timeouts left. If you don't have to use them all, I believe they have 2 left.
That's right.
So that's good defensive thinking.
So the San Francisco 49ers 3-0 coming into this one. The Atlanta Falcons 1-2, but they have played much better than that record would indicate. Now you can see the Falcons with 1 timeout remaining. The ball is on the San Francisco 27-yard line, and DeBerg coming back in and whispering the call to his teammates. We were talking to him before the ball game, and he really does need the microphone. He can barely speak. 3rd and 6. Solomon goes wide right, and here's Clark on the wide left side. DeBerg to Solomon, and he'll run it out of bounds at the 37-yard line to stop the clock. That'll be enough for a first down. Roland Lawrence was over there defending.
Right, and Roland Lawrence had him all alone. Good offensive football. One-on-one. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock. You're out of timeouts.
They only have 49 seconds to the half. That's all, 49. A 3-3 tie. Mazzetti kicked one from 40, and Wershing kicked one from 47 that hit the crossbar and went over. The motion is Cooper. DeBerg going to Solomon again, and he made the catch and stepped out of bounds before.
Good call. The official was right there. Good call. I don't know whether we'll see that again.
So Solomon, and now, wait a minute. That preliminary signal was overruled. And they are now making it a complete pass.
Let's see if we can see that again.
I don't know. We'll take a look.
And control of the ball.
He was in control at the 46 of Atlanta.
There it is. He's right on the sideline.
Here he comes, and evidently was in control before going out.
Hard to tell.
So it is 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 46, 44 seconds to the half. DeBerg releasing to Hofer, and he is crunched as he got across the 45-yard line. Fulton Kuykendall really drilled him, and Kuykendall is shaken up a little bit.
You see, Ben, if they had a timeout, they could run the football now. They can't take a chance. They got to throw every down.
22 seconds to the half. Here's Solomon on that catch, but they're going right to live action, so we better stay with that. DeBerg, no good that time. Intended for Clark. That'll stop the clock with 11 seconds. Kenny Johnson there.
The ball was thrown low, and Kenny Johnson's got him covered.
Here's that play involving Freddie Solomon, where it was ruled he was in control of the ball before going out of bounds. Got it, and then went out.
Well, to me, I thought he only had 1 foot in. From where we said, it looked like he had just 1 foot in. Didn't have both feet in.
So we have 11 seconds to the half, a 3-3 tie. The ball is on the Atlanta 43. Freddie Solomon going wide left. Charlie Young is there. And DeBerg winding up to Clark, who struggles and goes out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. But there's flags. There might have been illegal procedure on the far side of the field.
Charlie Young was moving before the snap. They sent 3 receivers to the top side of our screen. To the left side, Charlie Young was in motion.
That's what happens when you shake loose 2 tight ends. Eason Ramson was also wide left. Illegal procedure against San Francisco with 5 seconds on the clock to the half.
Oh, that hurts, Vin. See, that last completion puts them in field goal range. Now they're out of field goal range.
The ball will be spotted
Illegal
at the 48.
Motion. Number 80 on the offense.
80.
3rd down.
Ramson.
Yep.
So Eason Ramson, along with Charlie Young, was so far away, probably couldn't hear DeBerg. Remember, that's been a San Francisco problem. The quarterback with a bad throat, wearing a microphone and a power pack on his back. So 3rd and 12 from the Atlanta 48. 5 seconds, just enough to get this one off. And DeBerg going deep, and it is picked off by Richardson. Richardson to the 45, to midfield, to the 45, tripped at the 40-yard line. Flag on the play. That time is out, but remember, it depends against whom the infraction. So Richardson, Al Richardson, a rookie out of Georgia Tech.
Well, good coverage. He's not open. He throws it right in. And Richardson shows some good running ability here.
And with the interception, time has run out. It was a 28-yard return.
Clipping on the return. Offensive foul will not extend the quarter. Quarter ends.
That sums it up succinctly. At the end of the half, a 3-3 tie.
When you come right down to it, what kind of a person should occupy the Oval Office? Should it be a person who, like Ronald Reagan, opens his presidential campaign with a statement that alienates the people of China and follows it up with a statement that disparages the American South, and who is always explaining today what he really meant yesterday? Or should a man sit here who understands how to bring the people of this country and the world closer together? Figure it out for yourself.
When I looked at Datsun 280ZX and Porsche 924, I also looked at this new Mazda RX-7, and that's all it took.
Just one look, that's all it took. Yeah, just one look, that's all it took.
You get a lot of refined sports car with the Mazda RX-7. You also get great mileage, and you get it all at a price that'll really make you look twice.
Yeah, the more you look, the more you like.
You're looking at the best dandruff shampoo money can buy because it's been clinically proven best. Testing at a major medical school proved it works faster, gives more complete dandruff control than any leading dandruff shampoo. It's Selsun Blue, the only leading shampoo with selenium sulfide, the anti-dandruff ingredient doctors recommend most. No other brand has it. Try Selsun Blue. It simply works best.
This is the true story of Fania Fenelon, a singer with all Paris at her feet, until the Nazi terror caged her in a camp where some would do anything to survive, bargain with their gifts.
You must wish to please them.
And risk their very souls.
You'll never know. I'm not sure I wish to live.
In this nightmare, she played to live, and lived to tell the triumphant story of the women who were playing for time. Acclaimed as 3 of television's finest hours ever. Tuesday, September 30th.
Back in New York, I'm Brent Musburger with Irv Cross. I'm sure you'd like to get right up to date on scores, so let's take you over to the great big board. And there the Rams dominate the Giants 28-7. For the lowly Giants, the Dallas Cowboys are next. Peacock, 19 carries, 85 yards. Pittsburgh rolls. Jim Smith catches 6 of Bradshaw's passes for 128 yards and 3 touchdowns, 38-3 the final there. Detroit 4-0, their best start since 1956. Sims, 27 carries, 157 yards. Bob Greasy, he's the best relief pitcher this side of Goose Gossage. 16-25 for 241 yards, all in the second half. And here he is, backing up and looking for Duriel Harris. The Saints ahead by 16 at the time, and Duriel gets out of bounds at the 2. Then they go to Bob Lee for the score. And suddenly, the Dolphins were back in business. Delvin Williams then scored the touchdown that put the Dolphins ahead finally. It was 21-16. And then, with just 11 seconds to go, Shula elected to punt on 4th down, even though New Orleans is out of timeouts. But Rich Mounty blocked the punt. And now, with 6 seconds to go, the Saints have got a chance to pull it out. Archie Manning, with his last play, works Harris to the right side of the screen. The pass is on the money. Harris is in the air. He's got it for what looks like a touchdown, but there's the flag. Offensive interference, and let's bring in Irv Cross. Irv, what about the call in that situation?
You have to remember, when a receiver gets more than 5 yards upfield, you can't touch him. Apparently there was a defensive maneuvering there where he was shoved upfield and pass out. It's just defensive pass interference.
And that was the last play of the game. Back to the scoreboard now. Buffalo rolling along. They, like Detroit, unbeaten. 24-7 the final there. Cribbs out of Auburn carries 30 times for 90 yards. Cleveland beats Tampa Bay 34-27 despite 3 touchdown passes by Doug Williams. Williams is 30 of 56 for 343 yards. Houston, without the great Earl Campbell, who didn't play by an injury, beat Cincinnati by 3. Stabler, 28 of 34. And look at that upset, 24-14. O.J. Anderson went 144 yards in that game, 14-yard touchdown, 37-yard touchdown. Cowboys come back and dominate Green Bay. White throws a 20-yard touchdown pass to Drew Pearson that sealed it away. Now we got some partials. Second quarter, Baltimore 21, the Jets 14. Now these are all games still in progress. Seattle leading Washington by 7 on a 21-yard run by Zorn. San Diego now dominating Kansas City 21-7. Capoletti has scored for the Chargers, 3 yards out. And of course the game you're watching, good defensive struggle. Atlanta and San Francisco tied at 3. And the NFL Today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
With Medicare costs out of sight, 60 Minutes looks at a hospital bill. Length of stay, 23 days. Size of bill, 80 feet long and $77,000 high. Tonight on CBS.
One of the reasons why the Los Angeles Rams got off to that atrocious start is the fact that Wendell Tyler has not been able to play because of an injury. Well, they turned today to Elvis Peacock, and he finally came through. He'd missed a lot of playing time because of a damaged knee. But this was the former Oklahoma Star's afternoon in the Meadowlands. On 4th and goal, they stretch the defense, and then Peacock just bangs in. Then they set it up in the eye as they come back down on the Giants, and they jump the big fellow over the top, and it was 14-0. But that's not all the weapons Ferragamo's got. Rookie tight end by the name of Walt Arnold. Crossing pattern wide open. And the young man from New Mexico just strides on in. And it's going to be a long season for that man right there. Now Ferragamo again. He's got one of the better long arms in the NFL. Throwing it from about the 27. There's Drew Hill. 60 yards. Down to the New York 4-yard line. Now let's run Peacock wide. But he likes contact. He'll cut upfield and take on the defensive back, and he'll still get in for his 3rd score. Last play of the game. Scott Brunner, the rookie out of Delaware, zips one to Perkins, and it was all Los Angeles in that game, just like it was all Pittsburgh and the one you've got.
One-sided right from the very opening gun. The Steelers won the game 38-3. Jim Smith, substituting for the injured John Stallworth, caught 3 touchdown passes, had a big day, and Bradshaw goes to them early. In the first quarter, number 12 looks to his left and sees number 86 in the end zone. Jim Smith picked up his first TD pass of the day. Smith again on the receiving end of this one, touchdown pass number 2. Bradshaw staying with the hot man, goes to him once again. Number 86 picked up his 3rd touchdown pass, 24-3 at that point in the game. Franco Harris on a pitch to his left makes a nifty 24-yard run, setting up a scoring opportunity for the next quarterback. You know, number 18, Cliff Stout, playing his first game as a Steeler. First pass, touchdown to Franco Harris, and his teammates congratulate him. They went on to roll 38-3.
Gary Danielson for the Lions, zipping one now to his tight end, David Hill. It was 7-0 over Minnesota, but the Vikes tied it on this play. Tommy Kramer, Ahmad Rashad 40 yards, touchdown, Minnesota. But Danielson rallying the Lions, this time going to Freddie Scott for a 5-yarder off a scramble. And it was 17-7 Lions. And then Ray Oldham, formerly the Baltimore Colts, stepped up, picked this pass off for the Lions, dashed in. It was 24-7. How did Billy Sims do? Just fine. For the third time in 4 games as a professional, he busted 100 yards. Here's a 52-yard run, 27 carries, a total of 157 yards. And how sweet it is, Billy Sims. And just how far can the Lions go? I don't know. I think they go all the way to the playoffs.
I was out there last week, and they said they have a little theme song. Another one bites the dust. So I guess they did today. But the Philadelphia Eagles suffered their first loss today to the St. Louis Cardinals, and they went down to defeat in St. Louis by a score of 24-14. The Eagles only given up 16 points all year coming in this ball game, gave up 24. And, of course, one of the big guns for the Cardinals is their great running back. But Ron Jaworski, early in the game, goes up top here, and the ball is picked off by number 27, Carl Allen, who rambles along his left sideline and breaks inside as he picked up a couple of blockers, goes 68 yards for a touchdown, setting the tempo for the Cardinals early. In the second quarter, the Eagles get their offense rolling, and Ron Jaworski on a 4th down play on the 1-yard line, you'll see it in a second, rolls to his left on a bootleg, comes around the end here for a touchdown of 7-7. But Otis Anderson is the big gun of the day for the Cardinals, number 32. Here's a 15-yard TD run, which is a typical run for Otis Anderson, going outside, powering upfield, touchdown 77 St. Louis. And Otis Anderson doesn't stop here. A 37-yard TD run, this time to his right, breaking several tackles. The big guy goes upfield, and the Cardinals win it 24-14 for their first win of the year.
All right, Danny White off the fake punt for the Dallas Cowboys in Milwaukee against Green Bay, and he's finally stopped after a 50-yard run. Got down to the 21, and then White led him to the 1, and it was Tony Dorsett for the Cowboy touchdown. Steve Atkins has been switched to fullback by Bart Starr, and he scored on this 6-yard run, and it was tied at 7. And then Danny White went back to work for the Cowboys against Bart Starr and the beleaguered Packers. First he went to Cosby for this touchdown, and it was 21-7. Then Drew Pearson, the forgotten man, in that attack, caught this one for the touchdown, and they rolled.
Can you believe the Buffalo Bills beat the Oakland Raiders 24-7, and there's Curtis Dickey going over for a 10-yard run. Kenny King, number 22, blast upfield, is hit, and the ball's recovered by Buffalo, setting up another scoring opportunity. 3 plays later, number 20, Joe Cribbs, goes over for a touchdown, 14-0 Buffalo. The Bills go to the air, and this ball is picked off by number 17, Lester Hayes, who goes 42 yards around the left sideline for a touchdown, and the Oakland Raiders are back in the ball game. But the Bills know how to get points on the board. They go up top to number 20, Joe Cribbs. He rambles down the right side, touchdown, and Buffalo remains undefeated, 24-7.
Irv, I've got some late baseball action. Montreal is about to go back into first in the National League East. They lead Philadelphia 7-1. That game is in the 8th. They, of course, trail the Phillies by a half game. Houston over Cincinnati 5-4, and San Diego shutting out the Dodgers 3-0. So the Dodgers could be in deep trouble as they approach the final week. The Yankees are as good as in. 6-5, they lose today to Detroit in 10. But Baltimore can only pick up 1 game, 5-3. No more doubleheaders left, and the Orioles and Earl Weaver are quickly running out of time. One final note, George Brett off the bench for Kansas City, pinch hit grand slam home run. Raises his average from 384 to 385. Not going to make 400, but still a marvelous year. Let's send you back to Vince Scully in San Francisco.
Well, thank you, Brett. Hi once again, everybody, on a beautiful day here in the Bay Area. The undefeated 49ers have 3, and the Atlanta Falcons have 3. It was kind of nice, George, for us to watch all the touchdowns being scored, because otherwise we wouldn't know what one looks like. Why do you think that they're in such a stalemate? What's the big number for you?
Well, neither team has been able to run the ball. The 49ers have 35 yards running. Atlanta has 48 yards running. The 49ers passed up a sure field goal inside of the 5, didn't make it on 4th down. It's an even ball game. The Atlanta team, as we said, is a better football team than their record.
Bartkowski has completed 6 out of 11 for 34 yards. Meanwhile, DeBerg has some big numbers, 19 for 25 for over 100 yards, but neither side getting into the end zone. So as we await the start of the second half, it's the 49ers 3, Atlanta 3. And we're just a minute or so away from the opening kickoff of the second half.
This Bud's for everyone who works, so we can play.
Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Introducing a car that combines the brain power of German engineers, Japanese engineers, American engineers. Introducing a world car. The new Ford Escort, built in America with better ideas from around the world. Higher gas mileage ratings than Rabbit, Accord, Corolla hatchback. Yet roomier inside. With four-wheel independent suspension, front-wheel drive. Ford Escort, built in America to take on the world.
Here, Phil, let me help you up there. There you go. Hi, I'm Tommy Myers of the New Orleans Saints. My friend Phil and I are here on a riverboat cruise with other big brothers and sisters in New Orleans. They're a great bunch of people. They take time out of their busy lives to try and bring a little love into the lives of some very special boys and girls. I know what it's like to need a big brother. When I was younger, I lost my dad to cancer. Then a man named Andy Marciano came into my life. He was there when I needed him, to bawl me out when I needed it, to lend a word of encouragement when I needed it, a word of love. Andy's gone now, but I'll never forget what he did for me. And I don't think these kids will soon forget what their friends have done for them either. Thanks to people like these, the United Way works here. And thanks to you, it works for all of us, right? Right! The United Way.
The preceding message was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Ford Division and your local Ford dealer. Sylvania, makers of Super Set Color TV and a complete line of home entertainment products. And by Holiday Inn, who welcomes you to its people-pleasing hotels.
San Francisco will be kicking off, and Ray Wershing, who is a CPA during the offseason, certainly didn't have to keep many numbers in the first half. A 3-3 tie. Wershing, however, did get the 49ers on the board with a 47-yard field goal that hit the crossbar and carried over. There is Reggie Smith, 5'4", 168-pounder, and he comes up to the 5-yard line because Wershing will be kicking into the wind. 3-3, the start of the second half, but the wind has blown the ball off the tee, so timeout. Wind at Candlestick, of course, goes with the territory.
Atlanta might have real good field position. They're going to have somebody hold that ball. It just blew off the tee again.
Yeah, that will indicate the strength of the wind, the way the flag is rippling.
Bothers your kicker. He's running up there. He expects the ball to be blown off.
Wershing checking. Everybody is ready to go. And here we go. Ray's kick down the right side and somewhat on the short side. Ray Strong takes it to the 25, to the 30, to the 35-yard line. Fumbled. And I believe Atlanta recovered. They did. So Ray Strong somewhat surprised to get his hands on the ball as the kick went down that side. Keena Turner able to make a hard hit for San Francisco.
You know, Vin, one thing we didn't have time to say at halftime is the reason this score is 3-3 is that neither club has made a big play. There hasn't been one big play in the entire first half.
So from the Atlanta 34, the Falcons put it in play 1st and 10. Albert Jenkins comes to the left, and in motion is Franson. Lynn Kane. And Kane out to about the 40-yard line. Dan Buns, a middle linebacker, bringing him down. Buns a good ball player.
Yes, he is. He's in there because of an injury to Scott Hilton, but he was a first draft choice. They were a little disappointed in him last year, but I'm glad to see him coming around and playing. He's a good football player.
And for Lynn Kane, who played fullback at SC, as you look at the numbers, Kane missed the last 6 games last year with a knee injury. They'll try Kane again, and they call his number, and he carries it out to about the 43. He has to get to the 44 for the first down, with Ted Vincent and Jimmy Webb making the tackle.
Well, the Falcons have been able to run the ball just enough to set up the passing game. Bartkowski has been able to make pretty good yardage when he runs. Now I think we have 3rd and 1, or maybe 3rd and less than 1. Well, they're going to measure.
It'll be close.
That's something that the 49ers have not been able to do today, is run the football.
So they gave the ball to Kane on consecutive carries. 3rd down and about a foot on the Atlanta 44. Scott Perry and Ray Rhodes in there on the defense for San Francisco. Mayberry on a wing on the outside of the left. And it's a sneak. Bartkowski battling his way to the 45, picking up the 1st down.
Good call. You got a big, strong quarterback, straight ahead, safe play. You should never lose yardage on a quarterback sneak.
And of course, for Bartkowski, the adrenaline has to pump here. After all, he went to Cal, 6 years with Atlanta, and you only hope that Steve can stay healthy all year to really get a line on how good he can be. 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 45. Lynn Kane grabbed from behind and pulled down. Ted Vincent along with Reese and Stuckey finally got him. And he crossed midfield and gets into San Francisco territory. Dave Scott, number 70 for Atlanta, led the blocking.
Well, Lynn Kane has been a real addition to this backfield. He's got enough speed to go wide. He keeps those legs driving and picks up some extra yardage.
Well, the ball on the San Francisco 48, where it's 2nd down. Bartkowski to Andrews, and he's inside the 45 and might have picked up the 1st down.
They've done all this, Ben, without throwing the football. Just keeping it right on the ground, and they picked up another 1st down.
Andrews carrying it, and they will spot it at the 43 of San Francisco.
What this does, it cuts down your pass rush. You're thinking run, stopping a run first.
Bartkowski was 6 for 11 in the 1st half for 34 yards. Francis in motion. Bartkowski to Andrews, and he is going to be stacked up as he falls across the 40 to the 39. Ted Vincent was the first of many to hit him.
You mentioned Francis in motion. They're using what I like to call quick motion, short motion, and they're seeing how the 49ers cover Francis. They're setting them up for Francis to come in motion across the field, a short pass over the middle.
This time Jenkins and Francis go slot left. Out of the eye with Kane, the deep man behind Andrews, and there goes Francis. Bartkowski to Lynn Kane. Kane got away from Stuckey, still on his feet inside the 30. Ricky Churchman had a shot at him, and finally Archie Reese made the tackle after he had gone across the 30-yard line. A fine run by Lynn Kane.
This is bread and butter football. The hole's jammed up here. He has good vision. He pushes off to the outside.
That's Stuckey.
And watch him.
That's Churchman.
Make a miss. Makes Churchman miss. Watch him keep those legs going now. Picks up a couple of more yards.
A big play to get the 1st down. They'll spot it at the San Francisco 28, and they'll try Andrews, and he's inside the 25. Danny Buns at the bottom and Stuckey on top.
Your middle linebacker has to stay at home when Andrews carries the ball. Every time he lines up in the fullback position, he slants weak or strong and then comes right up the middle. Now here he is. Watch him going to the right. Now he'll cut back. And unless your middle linebacker stays at home, he's out of position.
2nd and 5 on the 23-yard line. Atlanta on the move from their own 34. Bartkowski to Andrews, and he's open. And Andrews across the 15, and they finally put a pincher on him at the 13. Ricky Churchman hit him to bring him down.
Boy, when you do this, you're dominating the defense. Here it is, switch blocking, fast hitting, type of play that Andrews runs well. Right into the hole. Not one pass thrown, Vin.
First and 10 on the San Francisco 12-yard line. Jenkins left and Francis right. Kane, the deep man behind Andrews. Kane with Andrews blocking. And Kane is tripped up at the 10-yard line. Buns and Churchman again.
I formation, quick toss to Kane. 49ers played that pretty well.
The Falcons have 2 touchdowns rushing this year, one by Kane and one by Andrews. And since they are grinding the ball down, it looks like they want to go again.
Exactly. And we talked about the Falcons' offensive line. They're doing their job. When you run the football like this, you got to give the credit to the offensive line.
2nd and 7 on the 9. Bartkowski with his back split. Francis is left. And he goes to Andrews. Andrews at the 5, and then they drive him back. Coming into this game, William Andrews had averaged a little better than 5.5 yards a carry, even though he had a poor rushing game last week. So far today, 12 carries for over 60 yards, so he's carrying for better than 5 again.
Here's a situation I always hated to be in on defense. 3rd and 3. Do you defense the run or do you defense the pass? We usually play it as a pass.
So 3rd and 3. The ball is on the 5-yard line. Francis left. Bartkowski to Andrews, and they read the play. Bobby Leopold, number 52, and then Willie Harper, but it was Leopold who hit him first. So the rookie from Notre Dame had the play.
What they did, they called a dog. We call it a tight blast. It fills all the holes. They ran a draw. The dog, the blitz, is a beautiful counter for the draw. He barely got to the line of scrimmage.
So Tim Mazzetti will be asked to kick a field goal, pretty much of a chip shot. The spot will be at the 13-yard line, the hole by John James. So it's a 23-yard field goal attempt by Mazzetti. He is 6 for 7 this year, and this one is drilled. So with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left in the 3rd, Atlanta makes sure they don't go away empty-handed. They came up with 3.
Exactly. Perfect kick, good hold, good center snap.
In an independent test,
over 1,000 different people were asked.
Which TV set had the best overall color picture?
More people chose the 19-inch Sylvania Super Set
than either RCA or Zenith.
This is the 4th year in a row
that Sylvania was chosen by the people
as having the best color picture.
Sylvania may not be the biggest, but a lot of people think Sylvania's got the
best color
picture.
Using this surgical fiber optic camera lens, Prestone Labs is going to show you what weak, neglected antifreeze can do to your radiator after only 9,000 miles. Look at these passages. Rust, corrosion. Continued neglect could clog them and overheat this radiator. Before this happens to you, put in Prestone 2. Prestone has a patented silicone silicate formula that forms a tough protective barrier to lock out rust and corrosion. Prestone 2 and Prestone Super Flush. No wonder we're #1.
Wednesday, the television premiere of Fugitive Family, starring Richard Crenna and Diane Baker running from the mob. Their daughter's romance threatening all their lives. Fugitive Family, Wednesday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
That lengthy drive by the Atlanta Falcons, they went 66 yards, took half the quarter. 7 minutes and 30 seconds, capped by the field goal by Mazzetti. So Atlanta leading 6-3. Mazzetti teeing it up at the 35, deep for San Francisco, Francis and Elliott. Land and Bungard up in front of them for blocking purposes. Mazzetti will be kicking with the wind. By the way, while we have a moment, George, a little disadvantage then for DeBerg to be passing into the wind.
Yes, yes it is. But his short passing game then shouldn't make that much difference. If you're throwing the ball deep, 30, 40 yards, the ball might flutter.
So here's Mazzetti's kick, and he hits a low knuckleballer despite the wind, and it will be picked up by Lendell Elliott to the 15, to the 20, about the 23-yard line. Ray Strong was there, along with Mayberry and Jones. So now let's see about San Francisco trying to come back. 1st and 10. The ball on the San Francisco 23-yard line. Remember, San Francisco got down to the Atlanta 1, and they were shut out. And that really is the big difference now. Kenny Johnson on defense. Going wide right. And DeBerg with Hofer and Cooper. And it's Cooper getting away from one man, still on his feet, and out to about the 25.
Well, that's what they would like to do. They would like to be able to run that ball a little more and take the pressure off of DeBerg and not have to put it up, help their linemen to counter the pass rush of the Falcons. Now, on that first down play, I wanted to see what the linebacker was doing. They had the weak side linebacker in a walk-away to help Johnson.
Well, 2nd and 7, the ball just over the 25, almost the 26-yard line. DeBerg on a spin at a Hofer, and Hofer still on his feet to the 39-yard line and a first down. Bob Glazebrook and Philden Kuykendall making the tackle, and now the Niners try to get on the move.
Well, you know, Vin, a lot of people underestimate athletes that do not have great speed. Hofer does not have great speed, but he's an elusive runner, has fine balance, and that's the difference.
So 1st and 10 on the 39. And there goes Hofer again, and he's out across the 45 to the 46. That'd be a big pickup of 7 to make it 2nd and 3.
Well, they're giving the Falcon defense the same medicine that the Falcons did to the 49ers. They're pounding it home.
Hofer has carried the ball 9 times for 36 yards. He has also caught a couple of passes. Hofer has caught 6 passes, so he's been busy. 2nd and 3 on the 46. In motion is Freddie Solomon. Here comes Hofer again. Blocked by Randy Cross, and he is all the way down to the Atlanta 45.
Ben, you know what? Hofer has the vision, the peripheral vision. He didn't have much of a hole there. Some backs would stay with the blocking and try to sweep the play, stay wide. Now, look at him. Now, watch him cut back against the grain, not losing any, and lower the shoulder, ducks under, going forward.
And you might have watched his counterpart, Earl Cooper, throwing one of the blocks along with Randy Cross to make it work.
They complement each other. There it is again.
Now it'll be 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 45. Play action fake, and Hofer is led too much by DeBerg.
And the nose of the football was down, which makes it more difficult to catch. Hofer has tremendous hands. That ball should have been completed. No
Coming
chance.
into this game, Hofer had 22 catches to lead the NFL in receiving, so add 6 more. He's caught 28 passes this year.
And Vin, did you know that 4 top receivers in the NFL are all backs this year?
The game is changing that way. So back to the Atlanta 45, where it is 2nd and 10. Clark goes wide left, Solomon right, and DeBerg giving to Hofer. Hofer is inside the 40 with a burst of speed, is at about the 37-yard line, and he has to get to the 35.
Well, Hofer has a quick start. He comes out of the blocks. Watch this. Hits the hole. Has good vision, as we've said. He's like a racehorse back who reads the hole. He makes up for his lack of speed with good vision.
So a 3rd and 3 on the Atlanta 38-yard line. Solomon goes right, Clark is left, and DeBerg is going to go upstairs under some heat by Dewey McClain, and his pass is intercepted by Richardson.
Well,
and Richardson, who made the interception at the half, comes up with a big one now, his 2nd of the day.
DeBerg did 2 things wrong. One, he had an easy first down if he runs the football. 3rd and 3, nobody forced him, and he runs the football. He's got an easy first down here. There's no Falcon in sight, and he throws the ball into a crowd. You don't do that.
Introducing an American car designed for a changing world and with a commitment to quality. Introducing the beautifully new Ford Granada. Built with a new design, smaller in size, yet more spacious than ever before. Built with Granada's highest mileage ratings ever. And built with Ford's quality control system. 38 different inspectors examine every single car. The new Granada, built for a changing world from Ford.
We want to make you smile.
Welcome back. I see you brought a friend.
My boss hasn't smiled the whole trip. My back.
I think you'll like our beds.
Big room.
Everything all right?
Just fine. Call me for dinner.
In an hour.
We made him smile.
Come to Holiday Inn where your style says we're number one in people pleasing.
So on his second interception of the day, Al Richardson saves Atlanta. We can take another look at this rookie out of Georgia Tech who was out a couple of years in college because of a knee injury. DeBerg throwing in a crowd, and then you'll see 56 pick it off. He took it away from the intended receiver, Earl Cooper. So Richardson puts Atlanta in business. 1st and 10 from their own 25. Bartkowski to Kane, and Lynn Kane grabbed down by Ted Vincent, and he's dropped at the 25, no gain.
You know, when you roll out like DeBerg did, the other thing that you get, you're not sure of the coverage. You get a flow of the linebackers, the deep backs. You're not sure what the coverage is. And that's another reason why more interceptions are thrown on rollouts, because you're unsure of the coverage.
2nd and 10 on the 25. Jenkins comes left, Francis right. Bartkowski is going to go over the middle to his big tight end, Junior Miller, and he brings it out to the 35-yard line. Danny Buns all over him along with Bobby Leopold. Junior Miller, a rookie from Nebraska, 6'4", 235, and a first-round draft choice.
Excellent pick. Jim Mitchell, who I had the highest regard for, retired. This guy has the potential to be an all-pro.
They talk about him as if he's the best pure tight end since Riley Odoms or Russ Francis. That would mean he is quite a tight end. So 3rd and about a yard for Steve Bartkowski and the Falcons, and they lead 6-3. On their 35, Bartkowski sneaking, and I really don't know if he made it.
Now, that's another thing. You can only run the sneak a couple of times. You can't get away with it. It would be like the suicide squeeze in baseball. You aren't going to fool a good team repeatedly with something like that. I don't think he made it. Depends on where they spot the ball. But they ran it one too many times. They did not make it.
So Bob Frederick spotting the ball, and they didn't make it that much. Ted Vincent and Archie Reese doing a fine job up front for San Francisco to prevent Bartkowski from sneaking for the first down. So John James, who once kicked a 75-yard punt against Oakland 5 years ago, and remember, he's kicking with the wind. We'll see if John can really boot one now with Freddie Solomon and Dwight Hicks standing back on the 15-yard line for San Francisco. High snap, no rush, and he hung it. It's going to hit and almost stopped dead on the point at the 31-yard line of San Francisco.
You said it. It was a high snap, and he almost lost the ball. He juggled the ball. Let's see if we can see it. See that?
Now, the Firestone steel-belted Trax 12 radial. Trax 12 has special traction bars for pulling power in snow, but they're hidden in the Trax 12 tread for smooth, quiet turnpike driving. Long-lasting Trax 12 with traction you can see. Traction 12 months a year. Trax 12, Firestone's lowest-priced steel-belted white wall radial.
For the bottom of your engine, way down inside, there's a tough new oil, and it's called Gulf Pride. It's got two kinds of cleaners for the acid and the grime. It eats up dirt, water, and slime. It helps keep metal from scraping dry and fights those things that make a good car die. So remember your engine down here inside and the tough new oil that's called Gulf Pride.
Live next Saturday, see spectacular bids, scheduled bid for Horse of the Year honors at the Jockey Club Gold Cup race. Next Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern on...
Ramson, a tight end along with Charlie Young. Play action fake to Hoker.